May. The wind is tossing the lilacs, the new leaves laugh in the sun, and the petals fall on the orchard wall, but for me the spring is done. Beneath the apple blossoms I go a wintry way, for love that smiled in April is false to me in May. By Sarah Tisdale May. A swarm of bees in May is worth a load of hay. A swarm of bees in June is worth a silver spoon. A swarm of bees in July is not worth a fly. Rhyme from England. May and June. Soft syllables, gentle names for the two best months in the garden year. Cool, misty mornings, gently burned away with a warming spring sun, followed by breezy afternoons and chilly nights. The discussion of philosophy is over. It's time for work to begin. Peter Lowe. The world's favorite season is the spring. All things seem possible in May. Edwin Way Teal. Be like a flower and turn your face to the sun. Khalil Gibran. 'Tis like the birthday of the world, when earth was born in bloom. The light is made of many dyes, the air is all perfume. There's crimson buds and white and blue, the very rainbow showers have turned to blossoms where they fell and sown the earth with flowers. Thomas Hood. You are as welcome as the flowers in May. Charles Maclean. The sun was warm, but the wind was chill. You know how it is with an April day, when the sun is out and the wind is still. You are 1 month on in the middle of May. But if you so much as dare to speak, a cloud come over the sunlit arch, and wind comes off a frozen peak, and you are 2 months back in the middle of March. Robert Frost. Oh, day after day we can't help growing older. Year after year spring can't help seem younger. Come, let's enjoy our wine cup today. No pity the flowers fallen. One way on parting with spring. But I must gather knots of flowers and buds and garlands gay, for I'm to be queen o' the May, mother, I'm to be queen o' the May. Alfred Lord Tennyson. The young May moon is beaming love. The glow warms lamp in the gleaming love. How sweet to rove through Mona's grove, when the drowsy world is dreaming love. Then awake, the heavens look bright, my dear. 'Tis never too late for delight, my dear. And the best of all ways to lengthen our days is to steal a few hours from the night, my dear. By Thomas More, The Young May Moon. The trees are coming into leaf, like something almost being said. The recent buds relax and spread, their greenness is a kind of grief. Is it that they are born again and we grow old? No, they die too. Their yearly trick of looking new is written down in rings of grain. Yet still the unresting castles thresh in full-grown thickness every May. Last year is dead, they seem to say, begin afresh, afresh, afresh. Philip Larkin, The Trees. Now every field is clothed with grass and every tree with leaves. Now the woods put forth their blossoms, and the year assumes its gay attire. Vigil. What is now the foliage moving? Air is still, and hushed the breeze. Sultriness, this fullness loving through the thicket from the trees. Now the eye at once gleams brightly. See, the infant band with mirth moves and dances nimbly, lightly, as the morning gave it birth, fluttering to and to o'er earth. Wolfgang Goethe, May 1815. There is no season such delight can bring as summer, autumn, winter, and the spring. William Brown. What is so sweet and dear as a prosperous morn in May, the confident prime of the day and the dauntless youth of the year, when nothing that asks for bliss, asking aright, is denied, and half of the world a bridegroom is, and half of the world is bride. William Watson, Auden May, 1880. The new earth quickens as you rise. The May Queen is waiting. Feel the pulsing ground call you to journey, to know the depths of your desire. The May Queen is waiting, moving through the night, the brightest moon's flight. In green and silver on the plain, she waits for you to return again. Do not keep her waiting. Her temper stings if you refuse to taste her honey. Surrender as enchantment brings the first light of dawning. Move with her in sacred dance through fear to feeling, bringing ecstasy to those who dare. Living earth is breathing, loving through the night in the bright moonlight, as seedlings open with the rain. She'll long for you to return again. Do not keep her waiting. Ruth Barron, The May Queen is waiting. I found a strawberry blossom in a rock. I uprooted it rashly and felt it as if I had been committing an outrage, so I planted it again. Dorothy Wordsworth. A little madness in the spring is wholesome, even for the king. Emily Dickinson. The fields are snowbound no longer. There are little blue lakes and flecks of tenderest green. The snow has been caught up into the sky, so many white clouds, and the blue of the sky is cold. Now the sun walks in the forest. He touches the boughs and stems with his golden fingers. They shiver and wake from slumber. Over the barren branches he shakes his yellow curls. Yet is the forest full of the sound of tears. A wind dances over the fields, shrill and clear the sound of her waking laughter. Hi, how are you? Yes, the little blue lakes tremble, and the flecks of tenderest green bend and quiver. Catherine Mansfield, Very Early Spring. Oh, what we two were maying down the stream of the soft spring breeze, like children with violets playing in the shade of the whispering trees. Charles Kingsley. People ask me what I do in winter when there is no baseball. I'll tell you what I do. I stare out the window and wait for spring. The country ever has a lagging spring, waiting for May to call its violets forth, and June its roses, flowers, and sunshine bring, slowly the deepening verdure of the earth. To put the foliage out the woods are slack, and one by one the singing birds come back. I'm okay, thanks, and so am I. Within the city's bounds the time of flowers comes earlier. Let a mild and sunny day, such as full often for a few bright hours, breathe through the sky of March, the airs of May, shine on our roofs and chase the wintry gloom, and lo, our borders glow with sudden bloom. William Cullen Bryant, Spring in Town, 1850. I sing of brooks, of blossoms, birds, and bowers, of April, May, or June and July flowers. I sing of maples, hawk-cuts, wassails, wakes, of bridegrooms, brides, and of the bridal cakes. Robert Herrick, his Hesperides, 1648. The name for the month of May has been believed to derive from Maia, who has revealed as the Roman goddess of springtime, of growth and increase, and the mother of Mercury, the winged messenger of the gods. Yet this is disputed, as before these deities featured in mythology the name Maias or Magios, taken from the root Mag, meaning the growing month or shooting month, was used. May mystical world wide web. Never yet was a springtime when the buds forgot to bloom. Margaret Elizabeth Sangster. The seasons are what a symphony ought to be, four perfect movements in harmony with each other. Arthur Rubinstein. When April steps aside for May, like diamonds all the raindrops glisten, fresh violets open every day, to some new bird each hour we listen. Lucy Lacan. May, queen of blossoms and fulfilling flowers, with what pretty music shall we charm the hours? Wilt thou have pipe and reed blown in the open mead? Oh, to the lute give heed in the green bowers. Lord Edward Thurlow, May. For winter's rains and ruins are over, and all the season of snows and sins, the days dividing lover and lover, the light that loses, the night that wins, and time remembered is grief forgotten, and frosts are slain and flowers begotten, and in green underwood cover, blossom by blossom the spring begins. Algernon Charles Swinburne, 1890. We know the past but cannot control it. We control the future but cannot know it. Claude Shannon. Winds of May that dance on the sea, dancing a ring around in glee, from furrow to furrow, while overhead the foam flies up to be garlanded in silvery arches spanning the air. Saw you my true love anywhere? Well a day, for the winds of May. Love is unhappy when love is away. James Joyce, Winds of May. Oh, come to see me when the soft warm May bids all my buffs their gay embroidery wear, in my bright season's transitory day, while my young perfume loads the enamored air. Oh, come to see me when the sky is blue and backs my springless with an azure ground, while the thick ivy bosses clustering through see their dark tufts with silvery circles crowned. Then be the spring in all its pomp arrayed. The lilacs blossom, the Lebanon's blaze. Nature hath reared beyond this hawthorn my fairer altar to the Maker's praise. George W. F. Howard on a Hawthorn Tree, 1864. Across the shimmering meadows, ah, when he comes to me, in the springtime, in the nighttime, in the starlight, beneath the hawthorn tree, up from the misty marshland, ah, when he climbed to me, to my white bower, to my sweet rest, to my warm breast, beneath the hawthorn tree. Ask of me what the birds sang, high in the hawthorn tree, what the breeze tells, what the rose smells, what the stars shine, not what he said to me. Willa Cather, The Hawthorn Tree, 1947. In your neat garden iris grows, bright yellow, mauve, in stately rows. This one you've plucked, a lovely thing, I know it brightens up our spring. But in the forest, springtime's child, a purple iris growing wild, can melt my heart as spring melts snow. It spoiled me for the sort you grow. Jude, Wild Iris. The wood is decked in light green leaf. The swallow twitters in delight. The lonely vine sheds joyous tears of interwoven dew and light. Spring weaves a gown of green to clad the mountain heights and widespread field. Oh, when wilt thou, my native land, in all thy glory stand revealed? Илья Чавчавадзе, Spring. А перевод? Ну, если еще и переводы буду читать, то моя передача продлится надолго. Вы знаете, я потом буду в другом стриме читать вам стихи с переводами. Русские стихи русских, российских поэтов в английском переводе и стихи английских классиков в переводах русских поэтов. In the marvelous month of May, when all the buds were bursting, then in my heart did love arise, in the marvelous month of May, when all the birds were singing. Then did I reveal to her my yearning and longing. Henrik Heine. Ah, my heart is weary waiting, waiting for the May, waiting for the pleasant rambles, where the fragrant hawthorn brambles, where the woodbine alternating scent the dewy way. Ah, my heart is weary waiting, waiting for the May. Dennis Florence McCarthy, Summer Longings. The festival of Floralia began around the year 258 BCE. Pagan Romans celebrated for 6 days from April 27th to May 3rd, honoring the goddess of spring and of flowers Flora. Flora, known as Chloris to the Greeks, was a beautiful and serene goddess, the queen of spring. She was married to Zephyrus, the west wind, and her temple is in Aventine. Floralia was a time of great merriment and rejoicing in ancient Rome. During the festival, Romans would cast off their habitual white robes for more colorful garments, especially green ones. They would also deck themselves and everything around them in flowers, then engage in all sorts of activities. There would be feasting, singing, dancing, and gaming. Offerings of milk and honey were made to the goddess Flora. Goats and hares, meant to symbolize fertility, were let loose in gardens and fields as protectors in Flora's hour. Singing filled the air and dances stomped the ground to awaken nature and bring it back to life. Ancient Roman prostitutes in particular enjoyed this festival as they considered Flora their patron goddess. So Floralia was especially important to them. They participated in many events, from performing naked in the theater to gladiatorial feasts. With the occupation of Rome in many countries of the Western world at the time, especially in Britain and continental Europe, the festival of Floralia spread, with each country adding its own special touches to the festivities. And finally, Floralia became May Day. Many countries chose a May Queen to preside over the day's activities, and children dance around the May pole. Some collect flowers on May Eve for the next day, and some couples even make love in their garden to ensure fertility. One belief that has been passed on is that one should wash one's face with the dew from May Day morn to obtain lasting beauty. Linda Kesselman, Floralia. Now is the month of Maying, when merry lads are playing fa-la-la, each with his bonny lass upon the greeny grass, fa-la-la. The spring clad all in gladness doth laugh at winter's sadness, fa-la-la. Thomas Morley. The fair maid who the 1st of May goes to the fields at break of day and washes in dew from the hawthorn tree will ever after handsome be. Mother Goose Nursery Rhymes. Since thy return, through days and weeks of hope that grew by stealth, how many wan and faded cheeks have kindled into health! The old by thee revived have said, another year is ours, and wayworn wanderers poorly fed have smiled upon thy flowers. William Wordsworth to May 1830. 'Tis May, the elfish maiden, the daughter of the spring, upon whose birthday morning the birds delight to sing. They would not sing one note for you if you should so command, although you are a princess of the land. Robert Fuller Murray. It was an ideal spring day, a light blue sky flecked with little fleecy white clouds drifting across from west to east. The sun was shining very brightly, and yet there was an exhilarating nip in the air which set an edge to a man's energy. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Oh, the green things growing, the green things growing, the faint sweet smell of the green things growing. I should like to live, whether I smile or grieve, just to watch the happy life of my green things growing. Dinah Maria Mallock Craik. The seasons are shifting, the winter shades lifting, the springtime is filling us children with mirth. The daffodil yellow, the south wind so mellow, the gentle rain falling upon the green earth. The song sparrows singing, new life quickly springing, all nature is telling a tale of rebirth. The deep wells of being, beyond each day seeing, all flowing with new life, restoring the earth. David Bamba, Spring. A delicate fabric of birdsong floats in the air. The smell of wet wild earth is everywhere. Oh, I must pass nothing by without loving it much. The raindrop try with my lips, the grass with my touch. For how can I be sure I shall see again the world on the 1st of May, shining after the rain? Sarah Tisdale May Day. I thought that spring must last forevermore, for I was young and loved, and it was May. Vera Brittain, May Morning. Chime out, thou little song of spring, float in the blue skies ravishing. Thy song of life a joy doth bring, that sweet, albeit fleeting. Float on the spring winds ere to my home, and when thou to a rose shalt come, that hath begun to show her bloom, say, I send her greeting. Sidney Lanier, Spring Greeting, 1860. Spring, the sweet spring, is the year's pleasant king. Then blooms each thing, then maids dance in a ring. Cold doth not sting, the pretty birds do sing. Cuckoo, Jack Jack, poo-wee to wee-ta-woo. The palm and may make country houses gay. Lambs frisk and play, the shepherds pipe all day. And we hear a bird's tune this merry lay. Cuckoo, Jack Jack, poo-wee to wee-ta-woo. Thomas Nash, Spring, the Sweet Spring, 1590. The maypole is up. Now give me the cup. I'll drink to the gallants around it. But first unto those whose hands did compose the glory of flowers that crowned it. Robert Herrick, The Maypole, 1660. To the garden of the world a new descending, potent mates, daughters, sons, preluding the love, the life of their bodies, meaning and being, curious here behold my resurrection after slumber. The revolving cycles in their wide sweep having brought me again, amorous nature, amorous, mature, all beautiful to me, all wondrous. My limbs and the quivering fire that ever plays through them for reasons most wondrous, existing I peer and penetrate still, content with the present, content with the past, by my side or back of me, if following or in front, and I following her just the same. Walt Whitman, To the Garden of the World. This spring as it comes burst up in bonfires green, wild puffing of emerald trees and flame-filled bushes, thorn blossom lifting in a wreath of smoke between, where the wood fumes up and the watery flickering rushes. I am amazed of this spring, this conflagration of green fires lit on the soil of the earth, this blaze of graving and sparks that puff in wild duration, faces of people streaming across my gaze. And I, what fountain of fire am I among this leaping combustion of spring? My spirit is tossed about like a shadow buffeted in throng of flames, a shadow that's gone astray and is lost. D. H. Lawrence, The Enkindled Spring, 1916. Earth, teach me to forget myself as melted snow forgets its life. Earth, teach me resignation as the leaves which die in the fall. Earth, teach me courage as the tree which stands all alone. Earth, teach me regeneration as the seed which rises in the spring. William Alexander. When May with cowslip braided locks walks through the land in green attire, and burns a meadow grass the flocks his torch of purple fire, and when the punctual May arrives with cowslip garland on her brow, we know what once she gave our lives and cannot give us now. Bayard Taylor, The Lost May. It was the month of May, the month when the foliage of herbs and trees is most freshly green, when buds ripened and blossoms appear in their fragrance and loveliness, and the month when lovers, subject to the same force which reawakens the plants, feel the yearn for a renewal of the magical awareness which is love. Sir Thomas Malory, La Motte Duffer. That's all.